If you've ever heard that carbs are bad for fat loss, I'm going to tell you exactly why the opposite is true today, which is actually the fact that carbs are good for fat loss. In another video, I'm also going to show you, In Shaa Allah, which carbs to eat specifically and how much to eat for fat loss. But today I just want to explain the science and 7 reasons why, because carbs are actually a very vital part of my fat loss strategy for a variety of different reasons. So I actually have a slideshow prepared for you. It's going to be a short one today. And essentially, we're just going to go into 7 reasons why carbs are good for fat loss. And I have other videos where I talk about why these low carb diets are bad for so many different reasons. But today we're just going to talk about why carbs are good. And then at the end of this, I'm going to link either 1 or 2 more videos about why carbs are good and which carbs to eat, everything else, so you can start applying this right away and not make the mistakes of the wrong types of carbs that could be detrimental to this, but rather you choose the correct carbs, aka complex carbs, which I explain a little bit in this video, that are good for fat loss. So, excuse me. The first reason why carbs are good for your workouts is because they give you more energy for your workouts. So if you're going to train at a high intensity, which I actually don't always recommend training at a high intensity, especially if you're a busy professional, entrepreneur, father, you need to have energy for other things other than working out, which I would actually say applies to most of us and which applies to definitely the majority of our clients. So oftentimes we're training with high volume. Now that being said, once you've been training high volume for 3 to 6 months, you could train at a higher intensity, right? And even with high volume, we're keeping the workout short. Don't worry, I want to make sure I don't scare anybody away, because trust me, the workouts are very realistic. They're optimized for the business owner, for the busy professional. But the point is, regardless of whether your intensity is high or not, the amount of perceived effort required in the workout is going to be less, because you're going to have more energy, you're going to get a better pump, you're going to feel better in the gym, you're going to feel better in life. Like, not only is it a good energy supply for your workouts, but it's a good energy supply for your mind while you're working and just for your daily output, so you actually burn more calories. We're going to talk about metabolism, but just having more energy at work actually helps you burn more calories. Like, if I'm making this video and I'm energetic and I'm excited, I'm burning calories around. I'm burning fat as we speak, or at least I'm burning calories, and as a net effect of that, I can keep myself on a calorie deficit or at calorie maintenance, which prevents me from getting fat if I'm not like dieting strict right now, and helps me to lose fat if I'm trying to lose fat right now, if I have a greater output at work. So not only do I get more productivity and efficiency at work, but I actually burn more fat. On the flip side, imagine if I was lethargic and foggy-headed and, oh, today we're talking about carbs, like just all boring and tired like that. I always make these jokes when I'm talking to my kid because, it helps to illustrate things and make it funny for him. It really makes a difference. So anyways, my camera's acting up, but I'm just going to continue anyways. I'm not sure exactly what's happening, but regardless, hopefully this video is still recording efficiently. Let's keep going. So anyways, so you're going to burn more calories and more fat, and you're going to stimulate more muscle growth, which also helps increase your metabolism. So when your workouts are higher quality, not only do you enjoy the gym more, so you're actually going to look forward to it, makes the process more enjoyable, you're going to be more consistent with it, but you're going to gain more muscle, which is going to further increase your metabolism, because muscle is a metabolically expensive tissue, meaning it burns a lot of calories, which is a good thing. It's a good type of expensive because it actually helps to burn more calories during the day, which actually gives you more dietary flexibility. So again, I have a lot of other videos that go deep into that, but at a surface level, I hope this makes sense why carbs are good for you. Reason number 1. Now, the reason number 2 why carbs are good for you during a fat loss phase is that when you're in a fat loss phase, it helps. So carbs are protein sparing, meaning it makes it extremely unlikely that your body's going to use muscle protein for energy. So it helps to prevent you from losing muscle when you're trying to lose fat. And this is really important when coupled with a good resistance training program, because a big mistake a lot of people make when they're trying to lose fat is they don't eat enough protein, they don't strength train, so they lose fat and muscle, so their metabolism slows down, so they hit a plateau, and they also don't look good when they lose the fat because they've lost a bunch of muscle, and you've also lost less fat in the process. The best thing you can do is preserve your muscle so that everything you lose is exclusively fat and your metabolism stays fast, and carbs, along with protein, along with the right training, along with stuff that we talk about in almost every other video, is extremely helpful for this. So this is reason number 2 why carbs are good for fat loss. Reason number 3, hormonal balance, okay? So carbs obviously impact hormones like insulin and leptin. Now you might be saying, oh, well, that's why I'm doing low carb, is because I have high A1C. Look, losing body fat and being in a calorie deficit are going to improve your insulin sensitivity or A1C. Strength training is going to improve that as well. So you don't have to do low carb or intermittent fasting to improve your insulin sensitivity. Can they give you some quick wins? Yes. Have I used them before with some clients? Yes. Do I use them with the majority of clients? No. Even clients with metabolic syndrome, diabetes, type 2 diabetes, all kinds of stuff, I still don't really like to use low carbs. We still keep the carbs moderate, right? I would say our average client is eating about 100 to 150 grams of carbs a day. So I'm not saying you're eating 300, but we have some people who are like, athletes who we have eating 200 to 250 or more carbs per day. So it really depends on the person. This all needs to be custom to you. And of course, as always, if you want to join over 100 brothers who are crushing it with their results, who are, in their 30s and 40s, working a lot of hours with kids, high stress, demanding, successful professions, still crushing it with fitness, and you're ready to commit and rise to the standard that we hold everybody to in the group that we've cultivated within this group by the permission of Allah, the link is below to learn about coaching. But anyways, continuing with the video. So preserving lean mass key. Okay, so hormonal balance, right? So the thing is that leptin is a hormone you might not have heard about, or if you have heard about it, you just know it as a satiation hormone. But what you might not know about leptin is that it's very important, not only for your satiation, so you're not feeling hungry and miserable on the diet and losing sustainability, getting all these excess food cravings, which is we're gonna tie into in point 4, but leptin is also a very potent fat burning hormone, okay? When your leptin is low, not only do you feel hungry and miserable, but your metabolism downregulates, your testosterone levels downregulate, and so you get a lot of negative side effects. So you might be trying to overcome, your insulin resistance and your type 2 diabetes so that you can boost your testosterone, so that you can stop having ED, so that you can start feeling like a man again and having the peak virility that you had in your early 20s. And you will get all that by losing fat in a proper way, because if you go too low in carbs, your testosterone also goes down, and partially because your leptin goes down, and there are other reasons as well. So there's always a balance. Too much, eating 500 grams of carbs a day as an obese sedentary individual is bad because you're gonna get type 2 diabetes. Eating 30 grams of carbs because you heard that keto is good for you online and all these influencers are telling you, that keto is good for you, even though you've tried it before and failed and couldn't stick to it and felt miserable on it, or maybe you felt good on it for a bit, but after a month or two you felt bad on it. Obviously, cutting out carbs is not good for you. You need to find a moderate balance, and there's a very sustainable, easy way to do this, which is what we teach. And we talk about this in other videos. I'm gonna link some videos at the end of this. But anyways, so you need to have, carbs in your diet to have optimal metabolism, optimal fat loss, optimal hormones, okay? In addition to managing your hunger and energy levels, we talked about energy before, and obviously your metabolism is gonna stay higher through a variety of pathways. Now, satiation and sustainability, right? I always struggle to pronounce this word satiety, right? But satiation. Complex carbs help you feel fuller for longer, which is gonna help you to not overeat on a bunch of other stuff. Like, we've all been on a low calorie diet. We tried to fast and not eat any carbs all day, and then at night you binge on a bunch of nuts and dates, and you end up eating all your calories in one sitting because you could easily eat 2,000 calories of nuts and dates in 5 seconds. Exaggerating, of course, but not exaggerating by that much. You could sit there mindlessly watching TV or Netflix or hanging out with your family, snacking on nuts and dates, talking, drinking chai, and before you know it, you've eaten 2,000 calories worth, and all your hard work to fast and deprive yourself all day has gone to nothing, and you're gonna store all of that as fat, okay? So even though nuts and dates are healthy, we need to eat them in moderation and get more protein throughout the day and more complex carbs throughout the day to prevent those cravings and binges at night. And we need to educate ourselves about calories and account for everything, so we're not just mindlessly eating calories, messing up our calorie deficit and failing to lose fat, okay? So carbs help with that in addition to protein. And we've talked about protein in many other videos too. We talked about boosting the metabolism and how leptin relates to the thyroid, and there are other reasons why carbs are necessary for efficient thyroid function, which obviously regulates metabolism. People with hypothyroid could be dieting and working really hard and still be overweight, right? And somebody with a hyperactive thyroid could eat 5,000 calories a day and not even work out and still be skinny. There are anomalies in both directions. There are cures for both of these situations by the permission of Allah. But for the case of a normal person or even a person with hypothyroid, adequate carb intake is going to help to prevent and mitigate any kind of metabolic slowdown for any reason. Now, carbs also help with recovery. So when you get carbs, in post-workout and just throughout your day, not only are your workouts better, but your recovery from your workouts are better, your glycogen stores are better. For those who are into lifting already, you have more muscular fullness and better performance, and your strength doesn't go down when you're cutting. See, that's the funny thing is when I used to cut, especially on low carbs, my strength would always go down, especially my bench press would immediately plummet, and I'd be so miserable because I used to love bench pressing, right? And I still do dumbbell bench press, but I've moved away from barbell because my shoulders just can't really take the injuries and whatnot just based on my structure, right? But alhamdulillah, since learning the low-fat, higher-carb approach to dieting, my workout performance has always stayed high even while cutting, which is awesome. You still get good pumps, you still feel good, you still recover well, and you're able to maintain your workout intensity over time, which is essential for continued fat loss and muscle maintenance as well. And of course, the sustainability aspect, nobody can stick, especially if you're Muslim, you can't not eat rice and bread and, potatoes or whatever other carbs you like for the rest of your life, okay? And also, you're less likely to just say screw it and binge like you might on a low-carb diet where you gain 10, 20 pounds back in a single day just from eating carbs and gaining back all that water weight you lost on keto. No, keto, I've talked a million times about why it's not a good diet strategy. So definitely this is key for sustainability. So anyways, We're gonna finish up the video here. We're gonna keep it really short today, but essentially there are 2 videos that I want to link to you right now. And I might do some more videos on, like, you know, the best carbs for fat loss, but I've already covered that pretty much at length in this video. The best, and I not only carbs, but I cover, you know, protein sources, fiber sources, even fat sources, but I talk about how much carbs to eat, what types of carbs to eat, everything else. So check out this video and let me know if you have any questions in the comments after that. And then what I'm also gonna link is, there was this other video I was thinking about linking right here, but I totally forgot what it was, but it's gonna be relevant. It's gonna be about diets, fat loss, all this other stuff. So I'm gonna link that right here. And inshallah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Assalamu alaikum.